Hello, we've just come out of court at the end of day 3, the final day of the trial of Adam Smith Connor. And I'm here with Adam and with Jeremiah, who forms part of ADF, who have been supporting Adam in the defence in this court today. So, Jeremiah, could you just give us a rundown of what's been happening today and over the last 3 days?
Yes, so starting from the beginning, let's recall that Adam has been praying. The allegation is that Adam prayed for approximately 3 minutes or so. And to think that silent prayer for 3 minutes 2 years ago has taken 3 days of legal proceedings and racks up tens of thousands of pounds in legal costs on the local authorities' part is in itself very concerning. But what we've had over the last 3 days is something called an abusive process argumentation, which essentially is to say that some prosecutions are so fundamentally unfair that they shouldn't have been brought in the first place. And the particular factual circumstances in Adam's case was that the week before he silently prayed for 3 minutes, he was informed by the police for unequivocal assurances that he could pray in a public space in England. And he relied, Adam's case was that he relied to his detriment on those unequivocal promises that it was legal for him to pray silently, and returned the week after to pray silently, and then was subsequently fined and charged and brought to court, as we've seen. So that was the argumentation that was made there. We say that that's fundamentally unfair and that the case should be thrown out for that reason alone. It's contrary to the public consciousness for there to be prosecutions where the state has actually already said the actions are lawful. Then day 2 and day 3 saw the actual criminal case being brought by the prosecution and being tested in evidence. And we saw evidence we received evidence from council officials and evidence from the officers that interrogated Adam on the day. And throughout the process, we were trying to work out what exactly is their case. And I think it's fair to say that their case is probably the combination of the fact that Adam is known to disapprove of abortion, combined with the fact that he has admitted to praying silently in his head, together amounts to a violation of the public space protection order. But the implications of that are very, very grave indeed, because if what the beliefs you hold and the thoughts you raise to God equate to a criminal offence in England, then we do have modern day thought crimes, and that's very concerning indeed. So that's pretty much the evidence that we've heard over the last 3 days.
So the judge hasn't ruled on whether there has been an abusive process yet, or actually given a final verdict, has she? So when are we likely to hear this?
Yes, the judge has reserved judgment until the 11th of October. I think it's fair to say that the legal argumentation was actually quite complex, even though the facts are very simple. But it's very rare for thought itself to be litigated because we never really have to consider the intersection between criminal law and the right to freedom of thought. So that made for a very complex hearing, and I think it's fair to say that the judge felt the gravity of the situation and wanted to take her time to arrive to the correct judgment, which we hope she will reach.
So over to you then, Adam. You must be feeling exhausting at the end of 3 days in court of being cross-examined and having to go through all that evidence. How are you feeling right now that it's, to a certain extent come to an end in court at least?
Pretty exhausted. I really want to thank ADF UK. It's been a fantastic to see them work. The hours of work that they have put into this is really humbling to see, and I can't thank them enough. And please, if you can, donate, because they're worth every penny. And so it's been an absolutely exhausting. It's been an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute you're up here, the next minute you're down here, and it's been really, really tough. And
What would you like to say to those who've been praying for you this time, Adam? And I know there's an awful lot of them.
Well, just thank you so much to everyone who's been praying, and actually please continue to pray, because the judge isn't handing down her verdict until the 11th of October. So, we have to hope that she acts in a just way, and that she can sift the truth from deception, and that God's justice, true justice, is served in our nation.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you so much for all that you've been through and the great witness that you've given. And thank you so much, Jeremiah, for all the support that you've been giving to this case through ADF. So as it's been said today, please do continue to pray for the judge as she looks at this evidence and makes her final verdict, that true justice prevails in this situation and that we can still have these basic freedoms in our nation. And thank you very much for those who have already been praying into this situation.